Introduction. Education is important to the life of a person, including children with disability, as it will enable them to be involved in decision making. Therefore, children with special educational needs to face learning difficulties in the form of disabilities. In 2008, Malaysia enacted the Person with Disability Act, OKU, and in 2010, the government ratified the Convention on the Right of Persons with Disabilities, CRPD. Identify and address gaps in service delivery.
About unit or syllabus. First is physical. Physical is related to body. Physical helps kids to coordination, balance, motor skill, and spending their natural energy. So dancing and playing tag is one of the physical or unit physical, because dancing they can create their own dance while they're dancing because they are using their own body, while playing tags they are playing by kissing other people, other friends. Okay. Second is about social. Social means we need to communicate with other people. When kids playing with other people, it helps them to negotiate, group dynamic, collaborate, compromise, and deal with other people's feelings, share their feelings, and express affection and other. So singing together help them to communicate with other people by singing together in a group. Second is build structure. A group structure also help them to communicate or help them to social by playing together, or when they build something they can build together and they can work together. So that's main is social. Okay, the third is connective. Connectives help them to improve their decision making ability. Also, connective help them to think, read, remember, reason, and pay attention while playing a game. For example, snorting with snake. This game is so easy. They just need to categorize, for example, the color or the shape. The second is to create the texture. The create texture is also easy. They just need to combine the paper or the cardboard. This game is help them to make their own decision. And the third is memory matching card. Memory matching card help them to remember which one of the card. And the fourth is about emotional. Okay, the fourth is about emotional. Playing puppet and emotional sorting activity help them to cope with emotion, with fear, anger, aggressive in situation they control. They can also practice action and understanding. For the puppet show, they can playing the puppet using their expression, while emotion sorting activity it helps them to get to know which one is their angry face, which one is their sad face.
10 of content. The first one is standard social. This aspect involves the assess child ability to interact and communicate with peers as well as other individuals around him. In addition, the way they act in social situations, whether in problem between friends or during discussion, is also will be taken. The second one is standard of motors. Motors is an aspect of development in a person movement. The motor is divided into two, namely the rough motor and the fine motor. Example of rough motor are sitting, running, walking, and many more. While the fine motor involve movement such as writing and reading, and so on. Standard of language, like communication and speech. Language is the use of symbol, syntax, and grammar when communicating with others, while speech is a motor movement used in communication. Children with language problem have difficult producing or last one is standard of mental. Children who are unable to master the skill of reading, counting, and writing at the level of normal children may have problem with low mental ability. Mental disability are associated with individuals who cannot learn as fast as normal people, such as not being able to store information, as well as those who are normal and who cannot understand clearly and find it difficult to apply the information need in one situation to another.
Next is learning objective. The first objective is aim to identify and analyze existing data on children with disabilities from a spectrum of sources. The second is assess and understand whether existing policies and law are determined in extent of which they address right and need of children with disabilities and conduct qualitative assessment of the key barrier to effective service delivery for children with disabilities. The third is aim to provide exposure and knowledge to a community with the interest of obligation of each person to work together in safeguarding the interest of the right of children with disabilities. The next is provide exposure to reader about the stakeholder who work on the issue of children with disabilities. Next is student will gain self-confidence with this activity, and the next one, train the child to have stability and strength in their hands, which is the motto on their arms. And the last one, help children to increase their level of focus and concentration while doing activity. That's all.
Suggestion of the programs. First, for physical, we can do art activity. For example, drawing, or we can make necklace from beads. Second, indoor activity, we can do some collage from the magazine. And last, music therapy. Next, for emotion, we can play some games, which is mindful craft. We can tell them that emotions are not monsters. Then we can teach them the technique about how to calm down and express ourselves. Last but not least, we can guide relaxation for anxiety through magical things. Next, for social program, we can provide employment opportunities based on the level of ability and skill proceeds. And then we can protect them from exploitation, violence, and abuse. Last but not least, we can provide them public transport for them to make it easier to move from one place to one place. Lastly, cognitive. A communication, for example, a student with slow process speed may receive extra time to complete a test or assignment, or a deaf student is supported by an aide who use sign language and to communicate to them. And then modifications to the curriculum, for example, a student is graded on a difficult, for example, student is graded on a different scale than their peers, or reads a text and easier level. Compensatory strategies. For example, a student with limited working memory capacity receive written instructions or oral instructions delivered one step at a time.
In conclusion, every child, including those with exceptional educational needs, has the right to obtain the same level of education and academic opportunity as their peers. Additionally, children with special needs will be able to connect with other children and improve their communication and interpersonal skills. Being in school setting will boost their confidence and self-esteem while also instilling a good mindset. Thank you.